Welcome back, everybody. This is the Dashing Saint, back at it again with another episode of Red Band Cafe, the podcast with the Invasion community where we discuss all the nitty gritty. Today, my guest is none other than Dork the Orc. Huh, who could this possibly be? It's none other than LegatusLex. He is a newer addition in our community, a lovely German streamer who took part in our charity event to save the children. He's an invader from DS3. He is now moving on to doing a bit of VTubing, and he still does a lot of Soulsborne content. Leg, welcome in.
Well, thank you for having me. First of all, yeah, Dr. Orc, my mascot character, basically. I started out with him in DS3, but all in all, I'd say I'm more of a cosplay invader in general. All of my characters are pretty much just themed around some kind of handicap. With Dr. Orc, I have a pure strength build that is just not casting at all. There is no range apart from maybe screaming at things. And apart from that, well, only crude weapons allowed.
Care to show me?
Oh, care to show you? Of course. One of my favorite weapons regarding these crude weapons is definitely the Beastman's Heavy Cleaver. This is literally just a sharpened rock. I personally am very partial to the sword, as I like to call it. It is not the grafted blade. It is not the Game of Thrones sword. It is the sword because it's just a sword made of swords. On top of that, we have the classic, the Gargoyle's Heavy Greatsword. I mean, if a sword is literally broken and fixed with corpse wax, that kind of just sounds like something an orc would use. We have the classic cannon. We have the Gargoyle's Heavy Halberd. We have the Knight Rider Glaive, funny enough, because it does look very, very crudely done. Standard Halberd, definitely something an orc would be able to craft. Partisan, Pike, Axe of Godfrey. We got the heavy great stars. I mean, the rusty, the big burly, a lot of damage, a lot of bleed. Love them. We got the heavy brick, hammer, pickaxe. Basically anything you can think of that does seem like a big chopper or something that would hurt somebody if it hit them right on the head.
It's quite nice, and you're complementing that with an offhand Highland axe. Is that it?
Oh yeah, that's basically just for the screaming here. Usually I'm just going for an offhand riveted wooden shield, or dual wielding certain weapons. I do love going for the ultimate meme with my sword, but having two of them, so it's the sword build.
Double grafted.
In the end,
You really don't see that all that often.
yep. It's not a good weapon. It really isn't, but I like the style. Like I say, I'm more about the handicap and I'm more about the idea of just rocking a theme than anything else. Like, I'm not very competitive by nature. It's more about playing a role, really. I grew up being more of a theater kid, and because of that, I just love coming up with characters and making them go through certain moves, certain playstyles. Oh, for fuck!
God damn, you're already clearing every question that I haven't already asked. Don't you understand how these fucking podcasts work, mate? You're stealing my jig, come on.
I mean, just hurry up, go for your questions. It's
Okay,
not my problem if you can't keep up.
okay, first question, coffee or tea?
Coffee. I drink both, but coffee is definitely preferred.
Good man. Alright, how did you get into Soulsborne?
That is an interesting one, and that is going to be a long-winded experience. Um, I need to start with the PSP in early 2000s. I know what this sounds like. I need to start there. Um, when I grew up in like early 2000s, the PSP was one of my first handhelds, which were not just a Game Boy, and I fell in love with a certain series called Monster Hunter. Um, to the point where I have like 3,000 hours of playtime on my PSP for Monster Hunter Freedom, Freedom 2, and Unite, which is basically a extended version of Freedom 2. Um, and when I heard about a certain game on PS3 called Demon Souls, I looked at the old YouTubes, you know, them tubes with them videos, and everybody was like, what is that platform? Um, And I looked at some gameplay. I saw some people playing the game. I saw some trailers. And I was like, giant boss fights? Weapons that decide your actual moveset? Stamina? A giant health bar? This looks familiar. So I actually got into Souls because of well, Monster Hunter. Because Souls reminded me of Monster Hunter. Also, I think we're getting a timeout. Everything froze for me.
It did. Go on, continue. So you got in through Monster Hunter and then you found Demon Souls. What year did you find Demon Souls?
Mm, I honestly had a lot of fun with Demon Souls, but I only played for it once. Mainly because I was not able to go online. Same with Dark Souls 1, same with Dark Souls 2, funny enough. I started out with an Xbox 360 when I played Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2. And my Xbox 360 didn't have a Wi Fi module. Um, so the only way to connect it to the internet would be an Ethernet cable. Well, lucky me, the router was on the other end of the house, so this wouldn't happen. Which
Mm.
means I always played unpatched DS1 at all
Oh,
times.
oh God.
I
No.
had the motherfucking best grass crest shield of all times. Uh, you guys had the nerf. I had the 100% physical block at all times. Um, but yeah, like I'd say the game that really got me into Souls was DS1, not Demon Souls. Demon Souls was a lot of fun, but DS1 got me hooked. Even though I had the worst start of all times.
Hmm. So that's how you got into Souls. How did you get into the PvP scene?
It's gonna sound as well standard as possible.
Let me guess.
A certain
Vines.
nah, not Vines. I'm not that young. Um, it was the classic SWAT. Uh, the idiot SWAT, prod, lost, fighter, chase. Um, I watched a lot of the content on YouTube. Funny enough, I'd say the one I watched the most was a certain Pale Man, and
Was he a handsome
I
pale man?
I would say that Pale Man is rocking a wonderful beard, which I'm very envious of. God, I love this scream. But yeah, I got into the PvP because I saw a lot of these videos, and I was like, I like the idea of being part of the world, being part of the mobs. That's also why I'm so interested in going for these themed builds I have. Um, for me, invading is not just pure PvP. For me, invading is playing a part in this world. I am a mob. I am a side boss, a quick obstacle in the way of the actual player. Um, I always just viewed it as a new part of the experience and not PvP, if that makes any sense.
So overall, you had like a very positive experience getting into the PvP because you came through following a lot of the more relaxed content creators in ER. Sorry, not
Oh,
ER.
for fuck! Yeah, basically. Um,
Kinky.
I basically got into PvP with the idea of us invaders being more of the, I wouldn't say trolling type, but the type that is just having fun. Moonveil, oh, you're spicy.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Uh oh.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I swear, these screams are way better than people may think. Not as high damage, but great to catch people. Oh no! Oh, hi there.
Hello.
But yeah, like I got into PvP not from a PvP perspective, but more of a roleplay perspective, more of a I want to have some fun perspective. And because of that, I I just never went the competitive route. Like, I did play duels back in the day, mainly to just brush up my skills, but I never went in there with the thought of I have to win. These things are atrocious.
No, they're beautiful.
I love him, but I also hate him. The massive HP pool definitely doesn't help.
Well, I mean, you can't status them. You can't really poise break them.
Yep.
They're giant dads.
Giant dads.
Yeah, they got
Nah,
stamina for days. They've got a ridiculous looking mask on. They'd love to
they need
grab
a
you and show you a good time.
they need a black flame for that though.
Okay, but that's what the grab is. The grab is Elden Ring's Black Flame.
Madness grab.
But instead, you get treated to a good time.
I still don't know if that is a good time in there. I
I,
can definitely believe that you are being probed in some way.
oh, come on. It's the best taxi service in the lands between. You think I want to take Torrent in order to get to the Volcano Manor? No, all my homies will take Abductor Virgins Airlines every time.
To be fair, I'm the kind of guy who just rolls in there with his horse, drives by the troll, just goes high.
I mean, that works, but it's not quite as fun.
I don't know. I like just riding across the entire battlefield, watching everybody just kill each other, and I'm just going through, basically going, "Hey, yo, guys, sorry, I have somewhere to go." It's nice that you're having a war and all that. It's nice that you're fighting, but I got something better to do.
So,
God, I love the scream.
you're comfortable with the PvP in this game. You're comfortable with Souls PvP, so that makes, all the questions kinda, not exactly redundant, but a little bit unnecessary. Because a lot of people, when they see, like, PvPers, especially on, like, forums, Reddit, YouTube, they tend to be a lot more try-hard, but you're, like, a lot more relaxed, a lot more chill.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like, I honestly do not care how many times I get killed. I would rather just keep on going for my handicapped builds, even though I'm not that good. If that means I can give people a memorable experience. That's why I have, like, even my status build is called Plemis the Chemist. Um, you may see a bit of a theme there with Dork the Orc, Plemis the Chemist, and all that. I'm not always going for dumb rhymes, but sometimes they just work. And with my chemist, for example, I'm handicapping myself in a different way since status art is strong in ER. I do have the Kindred of Rocks of Rot Exaltation on that build. It's a 65 Dex Arcane build though, and
Ooh,
very much
spicy.
on the end of yeah, it does not have too much health. On top of that, I have the bonus handicap that the chemist is researching toxins. So, how does the chemist research toxins in PvP? It's pretty simple, really. He needs to infuse the host with various poisons and rot. So, once the Kindred of Rot Exaltation procs, I then switch over to a bleed weapon. Never dual wield them because that's cheap. And I extract their blood for further examination in the laboratory. So I am allowed to use bleed weapons, for example, but I'm only able to do that on enemies who have been rotten or poisoned. I'm very strict about that. Incredibly strict. Even when I'm fighting a whole try-hard gank, I am not attacking somebody with a bleed weapon if they aren't poisoned or rotted.
That seems fair and also very sadistic. I love you.
I am an invader after all.
Aye. All right. So, how do you feel about 1.05? Sorry,
1.0.
1.06.
I was about to say, are you just one patch behind still?
Am I? Hang on, let me check. No, I'm still on 1.06.
Okay,
I'm
good.
still cringe.
You know, once you stop trying to avoid cringe and chase down based, you can be the absolute piece of shit you really are.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
But no, like I personally think 1.06 is a good start regarding balance patches. I was always somebody who gave FromSoft a lot of time, mainly because I work in software development IRL. Um, I know how long it takes to fix some bugs, even when they seem minute to people who just read a list. And in my opinion, these kind of open world games like ER are just absolute invites to have really, really bad bugs. And you can tell. Like they've been trying to fix the whole exploit thing regarding people being able to reach somewhere they shouldn't be and all that for such a long while. And there still are moments where people go for the dreaded AFK farm. And there are a lot of skips and wrong warps that they're trying to fix and all that. Like you can tell they are working on a lot of stuff, but the main focus is PvE. So getting this kind of PvP fix for the first time feels good. I'd say that is something that we have been waiting for a very long time. Where the fuck is there? Like I've been waiting for a nerf for the Rivers of Blood for, well, I'd say months at this point, and I'm glad that they're here. Um, And I think the main issue I have with Elden Ring at this point is literally just one thing. Do I still have the Explodey Flask? I still have the Explodey Flask. Wrong physic. Anyway, yeah, the main issue I have with ER is status build-up on dual wield, but that is a whole different thing that I hope they're addressing with the future patch. Right now, 106 is by far the comfiest patch I've ever had. Now that Stars of Ruin is actually dodgeable, now that Rivers of Blood seems balanced, at least to me, um, I'm very happy with it, and I'm looking forward to future patches.
Goodo, goodo. A lot of people seem to have come back for 1.06. I've seen like a lot of content creators like, finally, we get Wex Dust. We don't have to wait. It's literally done by From. Have you
Yeah,
had any issues with the extended range of invasions?
it seems like we have less of a priority when we're going for extended range, I think. Because when I go for close invasions, and I know I'm in an area that is very active, I do get invasions faster than when I search near and far, which is interesting. Um, but apart from that, I don't have any issues whatsoever.
Jumped in there.
I mean, I can do that. Oh my god.
Welcome back.
I actually didn't know that was possible.
Oh yeah, that's how you. So 90% of people, when they come here, they're not going to be taking the abductor virgin route. That way
Hmm.
gets you over to fighting the two abductor virgins and coming out of the other side.
I see, I see, I see. Yeah, I usually just go the abductor virgin route for that.
Hmm. It's nice and it's nifty.
I actually didn't know about these ledges. They might come in handy for invasions, not gonna lie.
Yeah, but remember, as soon as when you get back up, you don't have you don't have any frames or invincibility. But if you wanted to, you could jump down with a cat ring, and then they chase after you. They lose HP, and then you could finish them off when they come back up.
Exactly my thought. My thought process here.
So we're going to be doing some chatting while we're in the boss room. We're just going to be keeping Snorlax asleep, okay?
Okay. So let's see. Ah, there we go.
Hey, buddy.
Wonderful.
I've noticed that with the new extended ranges, a lot of people are doing similar Wexdust style ganks in very small closed areas. I think a lot of people really love doing ganks in the audience pathway before Ricard. Have you run into people like that? How do you deal with them? What do you do?
I haven't really run into them at this point, but my usual way of dealing with people who just want to nuke me is let them nuke me and move on. Um, these people are there to just feel their power fantasy and go like, yeah, I've had a bad day. I just wanna get rid of some scrubs and feel better. So if just destroying me makes them feel better, then so be it. I don't really care much about that. I've always been somebody who never really cared much about gangs. I'm more concerned about bonfire duelists. Like they're way more prevalent in ER than they felt before, and these kind of just suck the life out of me. I like a good fight. I like a good duel, but I'm an invader. I'm there to be part of the PvE basically. And I know I'm not that skilled as a duelist. Like my main point is I'm using handicapped skills. I'm trying to just be a mini boss on their quest. If people are literally just sitting at a grace and are waiting rune arced with the blue ring, I kind of feel like like I'm just getting cheated out of the experience I want to give others, and that is more of an issue to me than the actual gangs. Funny enough.
That's a very mature response to that. I was expecting, oh, I hate those fuckers. Go on Steam, block them every time. But no, no, no. You got a good head on your shoulders, mate.
I've had enough troubles in life to not think about that kind of stuff. Everybody has their rough patches, and if that makes them feel better, so be it.
All right, Noble. You enjoyed 3 good naps. That's more than I even get in a day.
I am not used to the shockwave there anymore. I'm not soloing. Shit. Well, GG.
Fucking Bubba losing on me. You're telling me
I
you
ran out
can't.
of potions on
You're
the way.
telling me you can't carry me through the entire level without dying in an easy boss fight? Point down.
God damn, shame on me.
Shame on you.
Shame on me. Shame on my cow. Shame on my ancestors. Shame on my entire family tree. And shame on my dog.
No, no, no. You can never shame the dog. It's never the dog's fault.
That's true.
All right, I'll pick you up right at the summoning pool outside of the boss fight. You'll find it on like the little lava path.
Yep, on my way.
All right. So we covered 1.06. Um, okay, how did you get into VTubing? Because you've got a really lovely rig. You've got you've got your OC dressed up in a toga that you can take off. You've got like bird feathers in your hair. I know that you keep a bird, so that makes sense.
Oh, I
And
actually don't. I'm just a bird brain.
oh, I thought you'd had a bird.
No, I actually don't. I love birds, but I don't have one. Um, in my case, it's more of a yeah. I don't know. I've never been diagnosed, but I feel like I may have some kind of ADHD. And um, for me personally, it's just I like to call my brain being able to be distracted easily and losing thoughts and all that. I like to call that just a bird brain.
Hmm.
So Yeah, I also, well, if you watch my streams, I do have these kind of noises that just come out of me when I'm getting surprised and all that, which are being compared to squawking and squeaking sometimes. Um, like I got the IRL nickname Burb from friends of mine before I started streaming and all that. So I always had a bird a little bit as theme on the channel just because it felt apt. And regarding the whole VTubing thing, I'm just a massive tech nerd. I'm a massive tech nerd who loves to see new technologies arise, and I really like stuff like Vocaloids, for example, if you know those. Um,
I'm
it's
not sure I'm familiar, actually.
it's basically, I think the easiest way to describe them is a voice synthesizer. Um, think about your classic. Oh, okay. We got a recusant around here. Like, think about your classic synthesizers. In your digital audio workstation, you basically have synthesizers like keyboards, um, e-guitars, all that kind of jazz. And you can go for different samples. You can uh, vary the pitch, the sound, the style, all that kind of stuff, right?
Hmm.
Um, a Vocaloid is basically the same thing, but with vocals, where you can change different syllables, and you can just create entire sentences and entire songs regarding the vocals with these synthesizers. And these synthesizers, they kind of started in Japan, and you know what Japan does? They like to create mascots to sell their stuff. So you may have heard of a certain thing called Hatsune Miku.
I have.
That is a Vocaloid. Um,
Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah. So I got into the whole Vocaloid thing back in those were PSP times. I actually imported the Japanese rhythm games, and I really like the idea of, for example, a a digital pop idol where everybody can just work together to create songs with them. So as long as there's a fandom for these kind of voices, there will be new songs coming out because in the fandom there's going to be composers. I really like that idea. Like you have a eternal fandom basically, where the artist is the fans themselves. And then when I was in training for my current job, I stumbled across a certain YouTube channel called Kizuna AI channel or AI channel, um, who basically coined the entire term VTuber because she started doing YouTube videos with a virtual avatar, just full on motion capture and everything.
That was back
Um,
in 2013, right?
Around there, yeah.
Hmm.
And I really like the concept because I was like, hey, people can literally just look however they want to. I thought one of the major problems with content creation and all that kind of jazz is, as dumb as that sounds, conventional beauty sells. Um, if somebody has a great voice and that does great content, but they don't look as good, they are not gonna generate clicks as easily because people are just attracted to people. Um, like you can tell, especially with female streamers, a lot of them like to sell themselves with their looks, but there's the opposite as well. Some who don't even use a camera at all because they don't want to be just this basically coined as the beautiful streamer because they want to be seen for their content and not their looks. Um, the whole VTubing thing kind of is a solution to that, in my opinion, because everybody can look however they want to. They can become a full-on Roman golden eagle anime avatar if they want to be, and just like that, they can also be a fucking gremlin if they want to be. There are no restrictions. You can kind of just express yourself a little bit more. And I like that. Like I'm not somebody who is thinking that his own looks aren't good. I am actually very confident in my looks, but I realize that I can't handle a webcam as well, for example. So I kind of just tried out VTubing, and it's very much exactly what I was looking for. I can express myself towards others. They can see how I move, how I react to things. It's more expressive than just having like a PNG react to my voice on stream. And it also tells people a little bit more about me when they just enter the stream. Because, oh, there's somebody themed after a bird, so maybe they like birds. They are wearing a Roman toga, maybe they're into ancient Rome. You know, that kind of stuff. I like the idea. It's it's both a boon in regards to personal security because your face isn't out there. Like especially for female streamers, stalkers and all that. Uh, at the same time, while it gives you a little bit more security, it also gives you another platform to just express yourself. So I don't really view it as, oh, I can be anime. It's more like another way to, oh, for fuck.
It's another way
it's
to be for fuck. Okay.
it's another way for me to just show a little bit more about myself.
While also still keeping your privacy. It's an artistic representation of yourself.
Exactly.
I can respect that. As you know, I like sending grades over to a lot of people in the VTuber community, and I've moderated for a couple of them too over the years.
Hmm.
And if you know, for my channel, I've got a redeemable where people can either choose the future of my channel. Either I go get myself a camera, or I go get myself a VTuber rig.
Hmm.
And a lot of people are like saving up for that VTuber because they want to see Dashin with a cuppa, but they don't want to see Dashin with a cuppa. And I tried to explain that to Mishi, and she didn't quite understand. Like, why would they want to see a cartoon of you? To which I reply, why do people like watch anime and cartoons in general? Because it's an art form. Real people take like a lot of work to get ready. I don't want to have to put on makeup every time I want to be streaming. I don't want people coming in judging my bedhead.
Basically that, yeah. Like I personally have been working on my own design for months before I even commissioned Light Chi, like my artist. And when I was working together with her, we've still been just working on the design itself for several months before she went over to the whole rigging process. Like it's a whole thing where people go very much into detail, and I just love it. Like I love looking at different VTuber avatars. By the way, where should I put down my sign? Oh, there we go. Like I love looking at different people's avatars because they always tell me more about the person without me having to ask them. Funny enough, um, when somebody is going for a pastel-colored sleepy avatar, I can kind of just see the vibes they're going for, even without having watched any of their stream.
You're not noticing it?
I am. I'm just.
In awe?
I'm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful, ain't it? Erect whip. Still here in ER.
I gotta say, you just have to love the Viagra whip. You just gotta love it.
Hey, listen. I'm excited with the new patch. I'm allowed to show my expression. I can't just keep it all bottled in. It's not like I'm putting sticky white stuff on the end of it. For those of you who started off with Dark Souls 1, sticky white stuff is the magic buff in Demon Souls Original.
We also had literal Old Spice. Oh, for fuck's sake.
I think you need some Old Spice after being in that stank coochie.
I'm pretty sure that I already had some Old Spice on me because, oh god, she grabbed me instantly.
So, in terms of the future of your channel, do you want to have like a more immersive model? Are you comfortable with the one that you got now? What's the plan?
I'm very comfortable with the one I have right now. I gotta say, I am looking forward to maybe improving the tracking on my face at some point. Like the thing is, the model I have right now basically has set emotions. Like, that's usually how most VTuber models go. They have set emotions as a more of a palette, basically. And in my case, I'm not using hotkeys to switch my facial expressions. So my facial expressions are wholly rigged to my facial movement. I calibrated all that to basically go for the surprised phase when I'm actually surprised IRL, that kind of stuff. So if I'm pogging IRL, my character be pogging, as dumb as that sounds. Um, when I'm laughing, my character is laughing. But you can still see limitations. Like, for example, when I open my eyes, because just, classic surprise, a little bit scared when something happens and you just have a little bit more of your whites showing. Um, my character can't show that. Like, it's not possible because I don't have a way to open my eyes more. Um, So in that case, my character is just sitting there, and I would love to go for the infamous AR kit rigging, which needs an iPhone. But the main idea with this AR kit rigging is that the rigging has set special points on your model's face, which are also points the iPhone is looking at using its Face ID hardware and software, basically. And with that, it is just real time r- moving the model the way the iPhone sees your face.
Mm.
So there's no set emotions anymore, no set facial expressions. It's literally trying to map your face onto the model.
Which
And that is
is,
something I would love to do, but it's also kind of expensive to rig your model that way. It should be doable with the model I have right now, though. Like, it should be doable with basically any 3D model.
before I had you on the show, I did a bit of research about VTubing and the more intensive ones that take like a lot of work. So I took a look at Nanners, I took a look at
Oh boy.
CodeMiko, and I ended up in like a rabbit hole for like 2 hours while I was at work, just
Hmm.
taking a look at different rigs. And I gotta say, like a lot of the stuff that they did back in 2016 seems a lot more easier to do now. Like Code Me Code needed like this full bodysuit with like individual
Hmm.
orbs, but
Hmm.
now it's 2022 and people are able to emulate it, not to the full standard of Code Miko, but are able to like get little bits going here and there. So do you think maybe in the
Hmm.
next 5 years you're gonna have like the technology is going to be good enough that you won't even need to like use the iPhone rig and you won't have to do like balls on your face with it?
I'd say yeah, maybe. It depends on the technology used, of course, and I can't do any predictions here. I'm not a fortune teller lady. Um,
But you do work in
but
technology.
I do work in technology for banking software, my dude. That is a little bit different. Um, I think I think we might be able to get there, especially since we have full body tracking with webcams already.
Mm-hmm.
Funny enough, just saying. It's just jank as hell. Uh, so when we're talking like 5 years, I think it's doable. I mean, I'm currently using a infrared sensor to track my hands, and that is working pretty decently. Like, yeah, it's a little bit jank every now and then because I need some time for the sensor to see where my hands are because it can't pick up my hands when I'm holding the controller, for example. Because, well, I mean, the sensor only sees like my thumbs and maybe my index fingers then. Um, but apart from that, I'd say we're definitely heading in the direction we can, where we will get to the point where people can just have full body tracking and all that. Regarding the face, that is a Delicate topic. I think it will be easier to get the consumer grade technology for it. That is what I'm personally thinking, and I don't think that it's going to be like Apple only, which it kind of is right now. If you want to have that kind of facial rigging, people are literally saying get an iPhone, because it's the easiest way to get it going consumer grade without being an absolute tech nerd.
Hmm. I throw another question at you, but like you said, you're not a fortune teller with it. But I think you
Yeah.
gave me like an adequate like response. Thank you.
Hey, no worries. Like,
But
I think technology is always evolving. Like that is the main part. Technology is always evolving, and considering what we have right now, it would be wrong to assume that we're not gonna continue walking the path where this stuff is doable, just because there's a market for it. So somebody is definitely gonna work on it.
can't wait till that day comes around. Oh, 15 minutes on the nose.
Rizard, interesting name.
Hmm. Let's head over to where the dagger talisman is. We'll skip this room for now. It was kind of
Okay,
like our end goal. All
gotta
right.
love the great axe.
Stepping away from the... Oh, there's a fog wall
Oh,
here.
interesting.
Okay. Oh, hello. He's at least got right guards.
Hello there. I love how this guy's just panic rolling. Slam dunked in midair.
Like, are we the
Yeah,
bad guys?
maybe.
I think it's a matter of perspective, wouldn't you agree?
Uh, I mean, we're the good guys in our story.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Excuse me, did you just walk away when he was head bapping? You gotta take that like a champ.
Yeah, no, 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 no. I don't want head from this guy.
No, 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 I'm not talking about getting head. I'm talking about getting the head bap. He's a hard rocker. Why do you think they all drop volcano rocks? We are just interrupting the rock concert.
Ah, yes, the mosh pit.
Oh god, I forgot. These guys are immune to fire damage. Guess what Moggs does? Fire!
Oh boy.
Look.
This is just cute. See, this is why I'm rocking a strength build. You
Wait.
can just never go wrong with strength. Ooga Booga Bonk is Ooga Booga Strong. If you choose Ooga Bonk, you're never Booga Wrong.
Look into these eyes. Do they look like they want your strunk?
Yep.
Why could I have strunk when I could have rage? Can
You
you
can
re
have
like
raid.
this?
I mean, literal earthquake.
True, but literal shockwave.
I beg your pardon.
Can you eat people on that build? I don't think so.
Do I need to eat people when I can literally just nuke them?
Yes, you're an orc. You gotta be eating people.
Yeah, I beat them into a pulp, and then I'm using the ground meat to make healthy burgers.
But they're already dissipating before you can eat them.
No, 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 no. Like that's just the fighting spirit leaving their bodies.
And besides, you're eating them after you already killed them. You're not eating them raw.
I can still
Disgusting.
eat them raw. I don't have to cook them afterwards.
Okay, but you're killing them first. You gotta eat them while they're still alive, you know? Gotta get like all that good shit in there.
No, 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 no. I'm not that much of an ass.
You sure?
I hope. I think. So
Alright.
anyway, Rykard.
Rykard, we're gonna be trying that without Manserpent. I'm gonna actually kick you from the session. because I want to reset. Because if we're going in for Rykard, we need everything. Everything at the ready. So thank you kindly.
Hey, no worries.
All right, heading back to the ER questions. What are your thoughts about the ER DLC?
Hmm. No thoughts head empty, to put it, well, the easiest way. Um, I personally like to get surprised. I have multiple people just going like, "Oh, what do you think the DLC is going to be? What do you think we will be able to see?" My answer is usually just, "I have no idea, and I'm looking forward to whatever may come." Um, I'm personally somebody who just likes to see FromSoft doing their thing. I've never been disappointed by them, and I'd personally like to have the trend. The classic trend for FromSoft was always to add an arena in the DLC, so I'm pretty sure that that is going to be a thing. Um, I personally would like to have a more interconnected DLC, kind of like Ariandel, where there's just several ways to go and several interconnected pathways, just non-stop looping around each other. Like DS1 is my favorite DS, for the main reason being it's a 3D Metroidvania.
Hmm.
Like the map design is just out of this world, in my opinion. And while I love ER, it's a very flat plane. Like there is some verticality when you're going down cliffs, but let's be real, these these platforms we can just hop down regarding cliffs, and the literal airstreams we're using to just hop back up these cliffs might as well just be standard roads. Um, so ER is a very, very flat game to me, apart from some parts of the legacy dungeons. And I would love to have a more condensed DLC area with like a few really good bosses. They don't have to be a huge amount, just a few really good ones. But the area needs to be something that I want to explore from start to finish. Everything.
If they
Regarding the
had it
theme, no
being
idea.
a Rome theme, how many copies would you buy? A Rome themed DLC.
I mean, I can only buy as many copies as I have of Elden Ring, so one.
Oh, come on, you're not going to be trying to get it on the Xbox? Because I actually had this conversation the other day with a couple of my moderators, and there's like a general lack of Xbox players. Just, what the fuck
I
was
mean,
that?
I don't even own an Xbox. I
Well,
don't even own a PS5. I only have a PS4 Pro, and oh my god, that thing is taking off when I'm trying to play Monster Hunter World.
what, you don't want to be on Sony Airlines?
I definitely don't need Sony Airlines.
Missing out. All right. So, oh,
But
you can't come
but
in, can you?
honestly, not yet. And honestly, I would love a ancient DLC. I think the whole Rome theme is something people like to tease me about, but I personally think that FromSoft could get a lot out of ancient design. Their main designs are always very medieval. Um, but when I look at ancient weapons like a Kopesh, for example, I would love to see more of that. Oh boy, somebody's getting eaten. Um, I would love to see more of that kind of stuff because I think it would really work with their themes sometimes. Oh boy. Okay, not having a lot of red may be a problem without range.
Well, the good news is we can apply every single status to the snake, and status does percentage-based damage, so already.
Implying I'm using anything range that isn't a straight up scream.
You got a bestial roar on your thing. You should be fine.
Yeah, I actually need to change to the Beast Brawl set. Would you mind, Snake? I'm trying to change my talisman.
Snake says no.
Thank you kindly. I am very much helping.
Where do you think you're going, bud? There we go.
Oh, finally able to hit the head.
I believe my rot has run out on him. So I'm going to try and apply it again.
Go for it. I'm actually so used to just powering through Rykard with my Estus while just attacking him at point blank. But I just don't have the amount of flasks needed to do that.
Neither do I, honestly, so this is going to be a bit weird.
Oh, this is going to be quite the fun fight then.
Yep.
Just trying to get the jump attack going.
Now, I am all out of flasks.
I don't think we're going to first try that.
Oh, I'm sorry, are you talking shit? Are you telling me the Dashing Saint can't handle this? All by his
I am
lonesome now?
talking the Dashing Saint may need to up his game, and it's definitely not because I'm not able to go for range. But yeah, to go back to the ER DLC thing, I'd say I'm looking forward to it. I'm kind of thinking that they might go back to Crucible times. They might go for Miquella, Saint Trina, all that kind of stuff. But we'll just have to see. And I'm the kind of guy who doesn't like to uh, come up with too many ideas because that would mean I might get disappointed. Um, so the less I think about it, apart from a pure gameplay perspective, the better.
I can respect that, I can respect that. But, like, do you have any hopes at all? Not like aspirations about what the DLC will be, but like, do you have hopes of, I don't know, Sleep Dragon, Deathblight Swamp? Give me something here.
I would love to have more sleep.
I think everybody wants more sleep, just in general.
Yeah, okay, true, but I mean, like, regarding sleep in ER,
Oh, sleep in ER. I thought you were just talking
yeah,
about getting good shut
yeah.
eye. No, that's
Um,
just me.
like, sleep in ER feels weird. We only have Saint Trainer swords, which are, of course, pretty fucking strong in PvP. Everybody knows that. Um, but apart from that, what else do we have? We have sleep pots. That's it.
Hello, Exhibit
Yep.
B, right here.
Yeah, okay, we have the torch.
Thank you.
But you get my point. It's the same kind of with Madness, but Madness has, well, at least it has incantations. And wow, I would love to just see something, you know, something where we can use sleep. Maybe an area of denial. I would love to see that. Something like Terra Magica, but sleep.
I think that could work, but
It would hit your coast as well.
honestly, if we get something like sleep, I don't even want it in the first DLC. I want it in a second one, just so that it's like, okay, this is gonna be the patch. This is gonna be like our final patch. Here's the big fuck you stuff. We're gonna go work on our next game. Fuck you all.
Oh, I can see that. I can see that. Let me just change my physic and maybe see if I can have some kind of ranged Ash of War. Oh wait, Lightning Bolt is a thing.
Oh yeah, my least
Oh
favorite Ash of
yeah.
War. I should, I think that's my least favorite Ash of War. Like, I'm okay with the incantation, Lightning Bolt. I am okay with Falling Star Beast, uh, its little rock bolt. But just being able to throw it on anything, and it
I
has so
think
much
that's the
phantom
main.
range.
It's the main problem I have with a lot of stuff in here. Um, I do like the fact that we are able to go for Ashes of War, but they are way too versatile. It's something I liked about well, Dark Souls 3. Um, when you were fighting somebody, let's say a Gondis, you knew what you were getting into. When you were fighting somebody with a PKCS, you knew what they were going to do. I mean, it kind of applies for ER with Rivers of Blood, and you know what they're going to do.
If somebody
But,
pulled out Murky, you know what you're gonna do after the match. Block them.
yep. But the moment somebody pulls out, let's say a standard halberd in ER,
Mm.
what are they going to have on it? Is it going to be Storm Stomp? Is it going to be the Icicle Spear? Is it going to be Lightning Bolt? Are they going to go for Charge Forth, which is still kind of interesting in ER, not going to lie? Are they going to go for Giant Hunt? You have no idea. It's even worse when they are hard swapping because you can't see which halberd they're using at the time. And every single one has a different Ash of War. Um, so I kind of love and hate the Ash of War system at the same time.
You say just like the Ash of War system. Um, do you mean like Ash of War that you can put on weapons that don't have fixed Ash of War, like
Yep.
Z-Hander?
Yep. Like it's a double-edged sword. It gives us a lot of creativity for our builds, but at the same time, it gives us a lot of ways to just create atrocities.
Yeah, I kind of get that. Ow. A lot of people think that having like different Ashes of War and different weapons definitely benefits a more inversive playstyle.
Oh yeah. Like it's definitely interesting, especially for people who are going for well, duels and the like, because they can mix up their playstyle in a matter of like less than a second, just switching between the same weapon basically. Um, but I like being able to be prepared, if that makes sense. I'm somebody who doesn't really have fast reflexes, quite the opposite, really. Uh, I like to say that I am the very definition of sluggish. When I am trying to fight a boss, for example, I'm never reactive rolling. I'm always trying to see what the boss is going to do because I just don't have the reaction time for it. That is one of the reasons why I don't play FPS games, for example. Um, like in FPS games, I'm getting wrecked. I don't have the speed for them. Um, so when somebody is non-stop changing their Ash of War, I have no way to adapt properly with the kind of brain I have. Like I don't have much of a filter. I am trying to process everything at the same time, and that can backfire quite a bit. So yeah, regarding that, I do have my problems with ER's combat just because of that. I can't analyze as much when there's so many possibilities, and it definitely does mess with my playstyle a little bit. Because that means I need to have an arsenal that is kind of comparable or strong enough to be able to handle anything any time, which is kind of against the idea of my handicap build, as you may know.
Yeah.
Like, of course, I could just go for a dual wield cross Naginata. I can literally destroy everybody. Look at me. It's just not my point.
So, do you think with almost these meta setups that are just too good to be true, you're stuck like playing a Tekken or like a fighter game where it's just like you gotta pick one or two fighters and you always gotta do the exact same thing to counter X or Y, as opposed to Souls where you've got like a little bit more diversity?
I'd say it's a bit of both. If you have a good amount of skill, you can counter a lot of stuff just regarding the way you play. Um, a perfect example is if somebody is going for non-stop dual spears, you can parry. You can parry. Somebody's going for a Rob, even in patch 105, golden parry is a thing. Um, Someone is going for Moonveil, current retaliation. You can literally current retaliate the entire weapon art. Of course, the current retaliation doesn't deal as much damage, but you literally negate their weapon art and just go for basically free damage. Maybe make them roll. There are ways around everything. Um, and I personally found it quite interesting to go for a little bit more poise and just Lion's Claw somebody who's trying to get me with well, a classic Rob. I found that to be quite the hilarious way to end a Rob spammer. On top of that, I'd say if you're good with a weapon and you know what you're doing, you can do a lot where other people are failing. But yeah, it doesn't give you a win. Like in DS3, it was rather easy. Let's be real. DS3 was a game where you could use any weapon, and if you were skilled at the game, you didn't care. You could just destroy an entire gang with any weapon if you knew what you were doing. This is not a given anymore with the ER, so you could say it's more balanced that way. Like the moment you're fighting two people, you need to know what you're doing because these two can just destroy you in a matter of like just in the blink of an eye. Um, but it also feels a little bit weird sometimes.
Hmm. All right, so you can definitely see. What would you suggest from like a programming point of view in order to try and remedy that? If you see it problematic, that is.
I will preach to hell and back that dual wielding is too strong regarding status buildup. Um, I personally think getting putting a straight up 0.5 modifier on dual wielding for stat buildup would make sense. Um, let dual wielding do 0.5 uh, status buildup, so 50% per hit. You are getting more hits out of your dual wielding setup. You're getting more damage because you're doing multiple hits, and you're doing more poise damage. But if you're going for your dual spears, for example, which just do 2 hits in one running L1, uh, you're going to get the same status buildup as if you're using one spear. You already have the poise damage, you have the added damage. That's enough. Um, that is a way I would try and fix the current meta we have. Because that is the only thing I really have problems with. People running dual setups, no matter what, if it's dual curved swords, dual straight swords, dual spears, dual great spears, you see the point. It's always the dual setups that are instant stat procs. Dual twin blades are another one. Um, and you could easily remedy that without nerfing them to the ground by just nerfing the status buildup. You don't need to do anything to the status itself, just the buildup on dual wield in general. That would be what I would like to do personally. Um, it would still make the dual seppuku Naginata very strong. Don't get me wrong, it's most likely still going to be an insta blade. Um, just because it's seppuku. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Um, but it would get rid of the dreaded instant madness dual Vike and stuff like that.
Oh, you don't like the double madness dual vikes? You don't like just running to a single L1 and then just losing 50% of your HP?
And some FP on top of that. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a wonderful stun for the other guy to just get a charge R2 or full weapon art while he's at it. Oh, we love that.
Speaking
Now I
of,
think
I'm
that.
gonna be picking you up over at Main Academy Gate for some dueling.
Oh yeah, sure. Um, I'd say that's the main problem with ER. It's just status build-up on dual wielding. I think status build-up is pretty much fine on solo weapons, funny enough. I never had much of a problem there. Um, and the status themselves feel good to me personally. Um, I like to see that bleed is usable now. It's still not hardcore. Like it's still at the point where you can literally negate bleed by just using your rolls correctly. Like you can literally negate the damage. The only thing that stays is the stagger, which is already strong. But I don't want to see DS3 bleed again, where you can just roll bleed and everybody's laughing about block bills. Um, and I mean, poison is pretty interesting. Poison mothlight. It's not perfect, but it's kind of cool. Especially combined with stuff like the kindred of rot, exaltation, and so on. We have a lot of tools in ER which make status builds fun. I just think they're too strong in a certain way right now compared to other builds.
I mean, yeah, that's back in DS3 at the very beginning. Bleed was kind of the meta, and
Yeah.
it got nerfed to high hell. Except the problem with DS3 Bleed and Poison Fusion is it didn't get scaled down until like much later, and even then in DS3, if you've got like a max level being summoned in to go help out, he's level 16. Bleed and Poison doesn't get scaled down to his
Yep.
level. So if he's got 99 luck, you're still getting bled out in a single L1.
Yep.
Are we going to the YMCA?
I mean, why not?
All right. As per normal duelist custom, as soon as when the explosive stone hits the ground, we will begin. All right.
A classic, a classic. Ah, shit. I'm still trying to learn how to go for that correctly to basically be able to hit you at the end of your roar. A bloody slash enjoyer. That is cool.
All right, let's do a reset.
Okay.
Have you mucked around with light roll yet?
Not really. It's not my style.
All right, well,
Like
this
as
build
you.
is currently set up for light roll, and it definitely seems to help me out when I'm trying to like get away from a gank because, as you know, Bloodhound Step got neutered, so trying to
Oh yeah.
get out of aggression because as you know meta, if somebody does like a jumping L1, it will combo into somebody else's jumping L1, and that's
Hmm.
a lot of damage.
Oh yeah. Now, like I'm more of a brute force kind of guy, as you may be able to tell with my builds. So I've always been a strengthy boy. Oh shit! I was so sure that that follow-up R1 would actually hit you.
Not bad, old man.
I'm pretty sure I'm actually younger than you.
Oh, you are.
Uh, don't run into that. Come on, man.
I have to try. running L1s and curved sword, you know how it is.
Yeah, they're tempting, but if somebody is going wild strike with a literal brick hammer, that's not the best idea.
But Brickhammer in my face. I name a better collaboration.
Like in Germany, we have a saying called that, like, das passt wie Arsch auf Eimer, basically meaning that fits like an ass on a bucket. Yeah, basically that.
That fits like an ass on a bucket. I'm not sure
Yep.
I follow.
It it's basically a saying like that that just fits perfectly. Because well, in medieval times, if you had to go and there was no outhouse around, just shit in a bucket and eat that shit. So if something just fits even though you thought it wouldn't, well, that fits like arse on bucket.
Like it. I don't think I'd be able to use it in my workplace without people giving me an odd look, but I do like it. I'm just. Oh, there's your sign. Oh, unable to be summoned.
Yeah, I moved it closer to the grace.
Thank you. I'm a very blind Canuck. All right. We essentially covered like all of the main speaking points. You're not part of the old guard. Boil prawn wouldn't really apply. What's because you mostly play on just PC? How is your track record with like EAC? How's the crashes, 2 minute DCs, etc. Post patch?
Ooh, I'd say I still have quite a lot of 2 minute DCs. Like, I don't think they tried to fix that with this patch. Um, but apart from that, I usually don't have too many crashes with ER. I I had quite a few when ER was still new. Like that infamous original state, it was a thing. But like I gotta say, I'm kind of happy with how ER looks right now. Ah, shit. Shit. I'm really just trying to get through that. You so deserve a big backstab for using that weapon art, you know that? Oh, there we go. GG. I wanted to try and see if I could get you with a cleaver, but I should have known.
Hmm. I mean,
Nah,
we do have like a really good connection, all things considered.
oh yeah, like, considering the fact that we are on quite literally opposite side of the globe, I'd say we're doing fine. Okay, let's see, regarding one of my more fun setups.
Do you think this pocket of activity will last with what we have currently with ER?
Mm, FromSoft games are a fickle beauty. I don't think. I don't think so. Um, my personal guess is that it will die down over time again, and then we're just gonna have the classic old guard being like, ah, yeah, it's always the same shit as every single time, because yeah, of course, people are gonna be not interested if the game doesn't change, and we will have to deal with that. I mean, it's kind of been the same way with the Esprit, where activity just went up and down and up and down and up and down. It's the way the world goes. I personally just enjoy my time with the game right now, and I don't know if I will keep playing ER for like ever. If activity goes down to the point where it's just literally the old guard. I mean, we did have that point with DS3 until Wex Dust hit and stuff like that, where people were just struggling to find invasions. Um, but I'm looking forward to how things will evolve, and I'm also looking forward to future FromSoft games. Like right now, I'm just enjoying my time, and I'm happy that we have this kind of activity. I mean, I also like a burning tree, but
I was having
there
a
we go.
moment. I mean, it's such a beautiful game. Like, just looking at everything. Like, for the longest time, I stayed off of PC because back in 2017, I just like left it just because of like a lot of drama that came into the community. And to
Hmm.
come back to PC on a brand new one too, that was made specifically for Elden Ring, just taking in these graphics, it's fucking
It's breathtaking.
breathtaking. Yeah, you're breathtaking.
No, your breath! Oh my god, you're using the same. Let's go! What are the chances?
Ashawar at 20 paces. Let's go opposite end of the map. Okay, free aim only.
Oh, that was gonna be a thing. Okay.
First one to land a hit owes the other one a coffee.
Okay, a little bit more.
So close.
Shit.
Oh, it's aiming too high. I'm trying not to use lock on.
Same.
Yeah, it's just kind of arcing.
Yeah, it's just. It seems like it's always arcing a little bit.
Okay, I think I got it a little bit better now.
Oh, I see. Oh shit, I'm out of blue. Yeah, that's the thing when you have a pure melee build.
Oh, do you want to reset?
Oh, all good.
I insist.
Oh no! Let me just change my flasks to blue only.
All right.
It's not like we need actual red flasks when we're in a duel anyway.
I wonder how well mouse and keyboard would be able to handle something like this. Because ER, for years I played on mouse and keyboard. Like I used to be a Borderlands player and Halo and everything. I was originally on Xbox
Mm-hmm.
before everything just like started to go very well for Sony.
I
Uh,
mean, I was also on Xbox 360 mainly because of Halo back in the day.
mm,
Um, but the PS4 just had so many good exclusives, and I mean it had Bloodborne as well.
oh yeah, Bloodborne was the best seller.
I'm I'm a be real Gravity Rush. I love Gravity Rush. If you have not played that game, strong recommendation on my end.
Can't say that I have.
Okay, I can give you a little rundown of what Gravity Rush is because that game is an absolute beauty. Um, think of your standard kind of Japanese open world games where oh, that was a close one. Where you're just exploring a world, having your cute little character. Oh fuck, GG.
Yes.
And with Gravity Rush, you have a character who is quite literally able to control gravity around her. And you control gravity by using not just your buttons and your um like your analog sticks and all that. No, you know the touchpad we have on the controller.
Yeah.
Swipe up to make yourself lighter, swipe down to make yourself heavier. You can soar through the sky by changing gravity for yourself. You're basically falling wherever you want to be.
Ooh.
Make yourself heavier, and you fall faster, so you fly faster. You wanna just walk on the ceiling? Walk on the ceiling. Nobody's stopping you. It's very interesting in that regard. Also, a reminder that I don't have any red flasks.
Oh, hang on a second. I can
All
take care
good.
of that. No. I got Blaze Slash for a reason. Hang on. Should do it about 4 times. There we go. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like that game, it's very interesting in that regard. It started out as a pure game on the Vita. No. And like I personally love my PS Vita, just saying. And bonk. Oh, sad. Gotcha. Like with the Vita, they basically had the same idea, but you were swiping on the back of the Vita, basically swiping up, swiping down, all that kind of stuff. And the game on the Vita, Gravity Rush 1, was more of a proof of concept game, just showing what they wanted to do. Not much of a story there. Like there was a story, but not much. And it was more to showcase like what the Vita can do. And Gravity Rush 2 on the PS4 basically had a full-on story. You had 2 campaigns to go through with 2 different main characters, um, and it was glorious. Also, the soundtrack is really good. Funny enough, Lost is using it on some of his videos.
Ooh,
Um,
nice.
like I love Gravity Rush, and it's such an underrated title considering the fact that it was a PS4 exclusive meant to sell some of the aspects of the dual what was it called, Dual Shock 4 controller. Like it was kind of meant to show what it can do, but a lot of people don't even know that the game exists.
I'll definitely have to check it out. And for you, I definitely suggest checking out Super Hot.
Oh, I know, super hard.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know who are watching the podcast, Super Hot is this really cool game where everything moves so fast. So every time you stop moving, it freezes time. So you've got time to really like think, to do shit. So it's almost like a turn-based RPG, except it's always your turn until it's not. I would definitely recommend. So, Leg, thank you for joining me on the Red Man Cafe. Do you have anything to promote
I
besides good
mean,
German coffee?
oh, us Germans, we don't really have good coffee. We have some German roasts, but I mean the beans are not from Germany.
Mm.
What I can promote is my Twitch, which is just Twitch TV/LegatusLex, as well as my Twitter. I'm very active on Twitter actually. It almost is like a personal blog of mine. I do have a YouTube, but it's kind of dead, so I'm not going to mention that. Apart from the fact that I just did wait. So, um, yeah, there's not much to promote. I'm just a streamer on Twitch who has a Twitter on the side. If you're interested in my content, I'm streaming 5 times a week, 4 hours minimum. Uh, Tuesday and Saturday are my days off usually, but I do have my moments where I'm just streaming nonetheless because I feel like it. And on top of that, I do have my moments where I'm just in VC on my Discord, just having fun with the people there. I just got absolutely owned by Dash. Perfect way to end the entire podcast.
And of course, your Twitch, twitch.tv/LegatusLex.
Yeah, I did mention that.
Mm. One last thing. I usually cover this in the beginning. Why the name LegatusLex?
Oh, that is an interesting one. I mean, Lex is just short for Alex.
Mhm.
It's just my name. Um, but I wanted to get some of my personality into my name while having a nice ring to it for people to remember it. So I wanted to go for an alliteration, and so I just went for like, oh, what works with Alex? What works with Alexander? What works with fucking Xander? I tried that. Um, but I fell back to Lex as the nickname basically, and I was like, people know legate, the term, from Fallout. They know it from Skyrim. They know it from well, some people actually know ancient Roman history, and I was like, I like the ring of legate Lex, legatus Lex, and I was like, wait, LegatusLex. Oh, that works. Like, funny enough, before I changed my name to this, my Twitch was called this one guy over there. So every single time I followed somebody, they were just like, "Hey, this one guy over there. Thank you very much for following," and all that. I had a good cackle out of that. But it's just it doesn't have that ring to it when you're streaming. Like this one guy over there, it's too long. Um, so I basically just went for an alliteration and wanted to have something that tells a little bit more about myself. And as you know, I'm a massive Rome nerd.
Yeah, it all works out.
Yeah, it
If
definitely does.
if Legatus Lex was a historical figure, which Roman emperor would they serve under?
I would say, well, my favorite Roman emperors are Diocletian and Aurelian, so I would choose one of them. Preferably, I'd say Diocletian.
He did treat
Like,
his troops a lot better than the former.
yeah, Aurelian was just on a constant crusade trying to fix the borders. So,
Oh, what's this?
um,
We got some fresh meat. Off to the borders with you.
yeah, like I love the fact that Aurelian was able to repair the entire Roman Empire when it was falling apart. But at the same time, I would not want to be in the military at that time. To be fair, I wouldn't want to be in the military at that time at all. But Diocletian was a very interesting emperor in the way that he was a master technician, tactician, but he also was an incredibly talented man regarding reforming everything. Like he did so much regarding laws. Um, it's crazy to see what politicians were able to do back then, and then comparing them to what is happening nowadays sometimes. Um, and to be fair, Diocletian just has a special place in my heart for his very famous quote. I'm pretty sure you know about that. About that.
Forgive me. Lack of sleep and coffee can only get me so far in my knowledge of Roman history. Would you like to remind me?
Diocletian was the first Roman emperor, and I think actually the only one to well resign. He was an emperor that actually went, guys, I'm old. I almost died because of some serious illness. I do not want to be emperor anymore. So he actually abdicated. He just went, nope, I'm not emperor anymore, and started having a cabbage farm on the countryside. Meanwhile, Rome was in constant turmoil. Like they had, I think, two different emperors during his lifetime, and Rome really started to fall apart. Um, and the Senate, after the first emperor died, just went, Diocletian, please, you were such a good emperor. They actually sent a messenger to him and went, don't you want to come back? We kind of need you. And a quote he said was, if this Senate would see the happiness I get from the cabbages growing out on the field, they would not want me to go back and witness the chaos in Rome.
Reject brotherhood, embrace old age and your cabbages.
He literally went, I like my cabbages more than this politics bullshit. And that is just such a good quote.
Ah, it is, it is. Thank you once again for joining me, Leg. It has been a pleasure to have you on. And
Hey, it's been
once
a pleasure to be here.
And once again, this is the Dashing Saint, Redman Cafe. LegatusLex was my guest for episode 4. I will catch y'all later. Say goodbye, Leg.
Goodbye, everybody.